Good morning, everybody. How about a Grumpy Gardener show? Boy, I tell you, for the last week and more, after having contracted a case of COVID, I had no idea what grumpy meant until I did that. Psychological effects of this virus are a butt kicker. I'm telling you what. I've been warning people about it for the longest time, and I finally had my first experience with what happens to your brain when you catch a case of COVID. Oh man. For days during the infection, I had been swinging back and forth between hating everybody and everything and snapping for any good reason and feeling like I wish I was dead myself and not wanting to be around anymore. It was a flip-flop. I want to kill somebody. I want to die. I want to kill somebody. I want to die. I want to kill somebody. Seriously. It was, not exactly that intense. That most likely the worst that would have happened on the one side would have probably been I'd have yelled at someone. It said, rah, 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 when they didn't really deserve it. Sort of like the people on the airplanes that go off suddenly. Okay? It's making a lot of sense to me now. And on the other hand, I felt so incredibly miserable. Oh, God. I didn't really want to be around anymore, but it was worse than that. It had a depression with it. Worse. It was very bad. It was a blackness, and I didn't want to be around. Had it persisted for long, instead of starting to go away, I really cannot predict what could have happened. I do know it would have been miserable. Anyway, so that is the preface to how we get where we're going today. If you've been out there watching the channel, you know that the day the state of Hawaii said, throw your masks, ha ha, whoopee. Immediately afterwards, I contracted something that was probably like a norovirus. It was very similar to what those people get on cruise ships. What can you say? 2 years, my face covered, and all of a sudden I take the mask off, bang. First thing it hit me in the face infected me. Anyway, it then inflamed my pre-existing ulcers and whatnot, and it was really miserable. And I laid there for nearly a week. It was pretty close to a week. I'm kind of forgetting how long it took now. But anyway, during the process, I had very little of anything that I could do other than just lay there, moan, try to keep myself amused. I was even afraid to take painkillers because they'll affect my stomach. And so I just suffered with it. Well, as I had reported previously in Pieces of Vibration video there, where I had decided I had turned on YouTube, and the AI had put up the monks in Tibet who were doing their chants. And as I had said in that video, this was not music, not in my interpretation. It was a vibrational state, maybe similar to the hum of a planet, or maybe even the sound of a bird, but it did not qualify as music as I know it. But the purpose of the chant was to dispel negativity and bring about peace. And so I couldn't do much anything else, and I just lay there and listened to it. And as I had expressed, I had an experience where suddenly I found myself watching a flower rotating slowly in my mind's eye, and which eventually turned out to be a lotus, which is a Buddhist symbol. And then having the experience of suddenly understanding almost everything. That was the level of what I understood about the universe grew immensely. It was an enlightening feeling. Although after it was over and it passed, and I'm as dumb as I ever was. It was a temporary condition, but the sensation was real. Anyway, with that in mind, and I've been a musician most of my life, and I am well aware, that music has an emotional impact on people, that sound changes the way we feel and think. I know this. I have watched the looks in people's eyes when I hit certain things on a guitar, that I did something to them. It affected them. So sound is very powerful. Perhaps it's one of the reasons I like it. Perhaps. But I never really delved into the ideas of certain frequencies, certain vibrational rates, what they do to us, and that all chakras have their own vibrational rates and so on. Never went down that road much. That's the spiritual, metaphysical side of vibration and sound. It also crosses over with science, too, because I don't remember, what's the purring vibration of a cat? 480 cycles? I'm not sure. Anyway, the cat purr apparently is healing to cats, and NASA has figured out that it's actually, that vibrational rate is healing to astronauts too. So we got, good crossover between spiritual practices and some science coming on. We start talking about vibrational rates and the effects they have on our bodies and our minds. So the chant was probably the first time that I'd ever had such a profound experience with vibration and sound. I've had some before, with Native Americans in the past too, but not as intense as this one. So after contracting COVID, there I was, miserable, in pain, ugly, definitely needing to dispel a lot of negativity. Man, did I feel negative. So I pecked around, and one of the viewers had mentioned to me after my last video about sound that he had run across a video on Tibetan bowls. Tibetan monks use metal bowls, hitting them to induce vibrations like a tuning fork, and these bowls ring and they sing. And I thought back on it, and I said, I could probably use some Tibetan bowls. And I found one that was truly the monks in Tibet playing their bowls. Had been recorded with images of Lhasa and the Himalayas and so on going by, But anyway, it's not the first experience I've had with Tibetan bowls. I've been around them in a live performance once, and at least once or twice on videos on YouTube where they were being played by people. But this was the first time I'd ever heard them played by the monks in Tibet. And it's complicated. Apparently, they did not show the performance by the monks, but it sounded as if there must have been quite a few of them, and they must have been using a whole lot of different size bowls, creating different layers of vibrational texture that was coming from these bowls. Well, like I said, I was in a bad state. And so I just pitched back in my pillow. I had my eyes shut, letting the vibrations sweep over me and hoping for the best, that the monks are right. They can clear negativity. Vibrational characteristic would change as they hit one bowl, hit another bowl. These bowls apparently are tuned to the vibrations of human chakras, and so on, which is something I know little or nothing about. But they hit a certain point in a combination of tonalities in these bowls where suddenly the vibration they were producing through my TV set literally let my skull feel like it was beginning to vibrate at the same rate Yeah, it was very intense sensation, as if something had entered my forehead, and my entire skull was starting to vibrate. Before I could even say, boy, is that interesting, wow, everything went to white light. Yeah, the vibration opened up as light inside my being, and it left me with a feeling of perfect peace, that I was perfection in itself. It left me with a distinct impression that whatever was left of the virus in me was in trouble, because this vibration was not compatible with the vibration of the virus, and that it was destroying it. That was the sensation. It's, who knows. But it just felt like I was being purified, like I had been opened up to my actual nature in being, and that most of the negativity of me had been dispelled, and that I understood the perfect nature of my being in creation. Well, first, trust me, when you feel that way, I wanted to stay there. I didn't want that to go away. I went, oh yeah, this is why I'm listening to these bowls. Yeah, well, just about that fast. The vibrational pitch changed, and the sensation disappeared. It was back to ringing bowls again. The feeling it left me with was, like a drug-induced euphoria. I wanted to grab the remote, rewind that video, and play that vibration over and over and over like I was doing drugs or something. And I said, no, that's not the point here. You're being so technological, 21st century, and you got a remote with a rewind. No, we're not going to rewind this. You had the experience. We are moving forward. And I just continued to listen. The experience never reoccurred. Exactly what it was, I couldn't say. All I know is that, yes, it did happen. Okay, it happened to me. I can't say whether it actually, immediately did its work, but at this point, much of the negativity that I had experienced from the COVID infection is dispelled. It's going away. I'm feeling much better. It's easier to get a smile on my face. Did the monks help me with that, with their vibrations? I don't know. It felt like it. I guess sometimes sensation is at the root of our beliefs, and so what we believe, Again, I have no beliefs. I'm hypothetical about everything. It's real possible that I actually had something happen there, and that vibration actually did something positive in my health at that moment. I'm not quite sure whether it matters whether that really happened or whether it just was what I felt happened. How much difference is there between what really happens and what we think happens? Not a lot, usually. Not at least for us, For everybody else around us, they go, that guy is mad. What does he believe? I've been told that before. Just for grins, in case anybody's curious or you ever need it, I will put some links to a couple of the videos I listened to from Tibet while I was ill. Hopefully, next time around, we won't have to talk about disease on the channel for a little while. Go back to talking about herbal supplements or something else.